Hey guys,
Hello, hello. Are we on yet? Can you see us?
we're on.
Well, good afternoon or good evening.
Good night.
How's everybody doing tonight? We'll allow a few more people to get on, of course.
We finished up supper.
Hey, Grammy Karen. Hey, Little Feet.
I really like these chips. So I'm going to finish my chips
Hey, Diana,
while we
Justice
get
Acres.
started.
As y'all saw, I don't know if y'all follow us on social media, but Miss Mac made tons of salsa, so she's been smoking blue corn chips. That's like one of our favorite things to eat is the little organic blue corn chips. Our whole family loves them, so
The
Misty made a
salsa
ton.
ended up being pretty
Got some
spicy though.
to it. It's got some heat to it. Hey, Larry. Hey, our cabin in the woods. So it actually turned out a lot hotter than we thought. We
yeah,
froze.
it's a little bit spicier than I expected.
We froze all our tomatoes just to do something different, other than the ones we ate fresh. As y'all know, we do non-GMO and heirloom tomatoes last year, and they don't hold up much. So instead of us trying to process them real quick, Misty just froze every one of them. And we had, gallons and gallons.
Well,
and gallons.
summer months is just so busy and there's so much going on. Even though we're not doing school, it's still
the busy time.
Yes, it's such a busy time. So,
Hey,
I needed to put mine in the freezer until I could just whip them out one day and say, "Hey, I can
How many bags did you
tackle this." How many what?
How many bags did you? How many gallon bags did we finish with the salsa?
Probably about 6 or 7. It was 21 pounds plus 6 pounds.
And that's not counting, we still have some left.
And I still have some left.
So, 40 or 50 or probably 40 pounds of tomatoes is a lot of tomatoes, not counting all the ones we ate for last season. So, had a great, actually wish we had a better harvest, of course. You always wish you had better, but still had a great, great harvest. Hey, Green Dream.
Hey, Mom.
I'm trying to make sure I catch her, but I'm
Prairie
sorry.
Girl and Cowboy Homestead.
How are y'all? So again, we talk about prepping. We actually it's amazing how we're finishing up on so many greens and so many winter gardens. And in the South, we actually hadn't had a lot of coldness. Well, it's amazing. We had frost this morning, but 70 this afternoon. So you know how that goes in the South. But
hey, I cannot complain. When I was out in the greenhouse, it felt amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this morning, I forgot to wash my coveralls last night. And for going out, I was thinking, well, it's not going to be that cold in the morning. It was literally frosted this morning. So I was out there freezing this morning milking the cow. So,
but then it felt amazing this afternoon.
I mean, it goes like 40 degrees in a day. How crazy is that? I don't know if y'all have that, but Mississippi, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. So anyways, here we are. We have spring grass growing because it's not really cold every day. Misty, we have our garlic and onion sprouts are coming up better than they usually do at this time of year, just because of this warmness we've had. Misty's having she's been working on aloe today. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, I'm like up to my eyeballs. Is that a good expression? In aloe. So last year I needed to divide my aloe plant because I had an aloe plant that had a million babies. So last year I decided to divide those. So I did that and they all thrived and did amazing. I sold probably 15 or 20 aloe plants at our farmers market this past year. I didn't realize that they would be such a big hit, but they were.
A great seller and really a good money maker too.
So this year, all of the ones that I divided last year needed to be divided again. So I took time 2 days ago and divided probably a fourth of the plants. So I got out there this afternoon and finished all the plants, and I got the ones that I divided and I went ahead and plant those. And I have a video coming out on the technique that I use to divide those plants and stuff, and it's really easy to do. But
again, what's so crazy though is
I have many.
This aloe is one mother plant. And this is our third year with this one plant. Third year with this one plant.
And
we sold tons off of it last year. Now we're gonna have probably a good 50, I'd say 40 plants, 50 plants.
No,
more than that.
Because today I did about 10 smalls and about 15 mediums, and that didn't put a dent. That was probably a fourth of it.
And what's so crazy now? We sell our aloe in our area, one mother plant that we've grown. And this plant we bought, it was, I mean, just like a small,
regular plant.
But that one mother plant,
aloe is very good to have.
Has made I made probably 20 last year, and then like Misty said, probably 50 or 60 at least this year. And we sell three versions: 4-inch pots, $5; 6-inch pots, $10; and
8-inch
pots. Is it 10 or 8?
No, 8.
8-inch pots for $15. Mm-hmm. So that's a great way for us to build our greenhouse based on aloe. I mean, I know aloe is great for our skin. Aloe, Misty uses it for a lot of things, but how cool is it to be able to utilize something like that and be able to sell too?
We have a pool here because we do live in the South, and there's only so much you can do outside in the summer without having to jump in the pool in Mississippi because it's so hot. So we tend to spend a lot of time outdoors here and in the pool and stuff.
You and the kids. I don't think I even got to swim last year.
So you did very little. So
hey, J&C's Organic Homestead.
I like to use aloe to replenish our skin in the evenings if we've been out for a long period of time during the day, because it's got such good healing properties and it's so good for your skin. So even if we've just been out for a long time and we're not technically sunburned, I still like to get that aloe and use it. And does anybody on here know I learned the proper way to put an aloe.
It's crazy.
To use the inside. Do y'all know how to do that? I had to look it up and say,
hey, Deanna.
Like, because I was just cutting it open, trying to squeeze it out, but there's actually a proper way to do it. And if y'all want me to make a video on that, I will, but
it's truly like skin. It reminds me of skin of a fish. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like you're taking a scale and a fish or so, but it's really a neat process.
So anyway, I have tons and tons and tons of babies. So all of the plants that I just divided will need to sit out for a few days, and then I will take those plants, get them in pots, let them sit for several days, and then hit them with just a little bit of water. And they'll be ready to go. So I have several orders that are going out the 1st of March, which we're super excited for. And then they'll make awesome Mother's Day gifts and little happies for teachers this year as the school starts winding down. So that's all. I've been very busy doing that.
And what's so cool in our area, we have to start. Of course, we're beekeepers, so a bee's spring and pollination really starts February. So we try to get as much as we can, even in our greenhouses, and also planted that can in cool weather. Because again, we may have a snap, what they call the Easter snap from Mississippi, but pretty much we don't really get really cold and stay cold for a long time. So we've got to start getting stuff out. And this year we're also going to plant a lot for the bees. We've got some zinnias coming. We've got buckwheat, of course, already bought. Of course, they have the rye that they're eating off of, and then the normal wildflowers. So we're really going to try to push them good this year, and we almost have a great year starting. They're heavily fed for fall. We didn't pull fall honey, so I think it's going to be a good year for the bees too, which will help our gardens and also help maybe our fruits right beside it. Our blueberries is what they thrived off of the early part of the season, and we had a great blueberry harvest. So I'm hoping we can have a bigger one this year.
Yep.
Because
and last year we transplanted. Now listen to this. This is pretty cool. There was a gentleman who had been doing some work back here on our property.
Oh yeah.
He left our property, went to another property.
Well, first of all, he was very. I think he was kind of blown away that these young. I mean, for him, these young kids are trying to do all this homesteading life. So keep going with your story. That's what.
So yeah, he had been here doing some work. He was very like Colby said, very surprised. So anyway, did some work here, went and left, was doing some work on another project, and called Colby and said, I'm out in these woods, and the people of this property just said, take all this stuff out. And I told them that there was lots of blueberry plants.
Thanks, pretty girl.
I mean, like a nice size section of really nice blueberry
trees,
bushes. So he called us and was like, look, they're telling me just take them all out. They don't want them. So do y'all want me to dig them up and y'all come get them? We were like, absolutely. So we got like what, 10?
No, we didn't get that. Well, it was basically 5 monster bushes, which we split and almost made 10. I think it was 8 total.
So we got all those for free, and they're huge.
And
they're like almost as tall as I am.
What's so cool? 2 of those were different versions. So, and they were not the kind of blueberries that really put off blueberries, but it's a feeder for another blueberry type that we already had. So it actually exponentially blessed our blueberry harvest this year because they were feeding off those.
Yes, it was really awesome.
Really good.
So he knew that we would appreciate it, and he didn't really want to take those bushes out. And we were like, yes, we will come get them.
We had a ton of blueberries last year.
Yes, we were very, very thankful. Now, I had, even though we were having major stink bug issues, which were affecting our tomatoes and blueberries, I'm still using blueberries from my freezer. Like when we make a smoothie or waffles or something like that, I'll pull those frozen blueberries out, and we use those, and I still have bags of them, even though the stink bugs, like,
and see, that's what we're trying to get to.
Probably took a portion.
We're trying to get to the sustainability that there may be some things that we can't grow here, but if we can have a sustainable fruit or sustainable, green or whatever it may be, last us to the next season, we've accomplished the main goal for that. Like we're fixing to harvest greens. If y'all have seen our green fields, that they're just absolutely gorgeous. And before it gets warm, which is when things start, caterpillars and all this stuff starts eating our greens, which we hate. Our mustards have taken a little hit, which is okay because we have all our collards left. We're going to harvest all those, and those will last us for a whole year easily. So we'll freeze those. So that's what's so cool about trying to get to the point where you're trying to, sustain to the next season. We've got to do that with a few things. We're actually running out of honey. We actually have about a quart left because we didn't pull fall, just because we thought, hey, 20 gallons will last us. Well, that normally would for normal folks, but with us, we cook with it. We do a lot of elderberry syrups that we sell, so we're down to the nitty gritty.
So nitty gritty. Well, I use honey in everything. I made homemade waffles today. So not only did I replace the sugar that goes in waffles with honey, of course, we eat honey on those, and so anything I make, biscuits, waffles, pancakes.
We barely ever eat sugar now. I mean, we really don't.
So
eat sugar
everything is honey. And also we use it in our elderberry syrup. I also have a really awesome elderberry syrup business here. Like I have 4 jars going out tomorrow. So that takes a cup of honey per quart is what I usually use. So we have really went through our honey. Yeah, and we're fixing to buy a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, from a beekeeper, a dear friend of ours. He's actually our mentor.
Right, right, and they're amazing.
But what's so funny is I'll buy this 5 gallons, basically 7 cups of, or 8 cups of it will pay for the whole bucket just because of the elderberry syrup.
That's right.
Entrepreneurship on the homestead. A few questions we missed. How do we stay motivated milking at 30 degrees? I wonder that sometimes all the time.
I totally missed that comment.
Yeah, I know. You're crazy. Not even paying attention.
Just talking.
No, it is hard this morning. I didn't have my insulated bibs. It was a hard morning. But hey, we got almost 3 full gallons this morning. So
when you get a ton of milk,
and when you get to drink
the cream and you get to do things with it, like make butter and keep your yogurt going and all of that, that's really the motivation behind it all.
Another question I missed, we're sorry. We have found out a little bit on the soap. I looked it up. I forgot to tell Misty. Going through USPS, doing the Postal Service, printing off the labels, it's going to be our best option. So what we will have to do is base it on like a 2 or 3 day shipping. We've got to find a little bit more information on it, just making sure we're covered. So that will be coming, and we'll post that on Facebook, and we'll probably make a YouTube clip on it as well. So we are working on that. So thank you for asking.
Yes, I have several people that really wants us to ship this out.
So thank you for asking. I'm sorry. No. We thought we lost everybody. It was my fault. I'm sorry.
Hey, Colby's just trying to scroll through to make sure we get everybody's. I saw some people commenting about the aloe and some aloe plants indoors. Yeah, ours stay in the greenhouse, and I've been trying to tell some people that are interested in the aloe plants, make sure it stays in a sunny location. Don't water it. If you think it needs water, just don't even do it. I literally abandoned my aloe. Literally, I put it in the greenhouse on the bottom. It gets
supplemental water from us watering what's on top sometimes. So it really doesn't get a lot of water at all. So.
I water maybe once a month ish. Right. And that's it.
Deanna, you are so true. There's times that I could just our cow, like you said, when you're pushing on her, she's warm. You're like, man, she's so toasty. She's like our own little heater. So I fully feel that. I understand that completely.
I was driving by the other day, and I stopped, and I was talking to Josie, and I was like, your coat is just so fluffy. And the kids are talking about how she's got this big fluffy fur coat, and I was telling them, well, that's what keeps her warm.
But what's so unique, I think a chicken's the same way. My pigs, they will lay on top of each other and act like they're freezing to death, and they're not. I mean, but that's how they snuggle up. The chickens, even the meat birds, they will they smores frost on the ground, and they're just running around like it's not affecting them. It's amazing how creatures like that are not affected nearly as bad as cold that we are, or even a cat or a dog, so it's amazing.
Yeah, organic raw roots farm. That's what I was telling somebody earlier. Is actually my mom was like, don't water it. I had, y'all, when I was taking some of the aloe plants out of the pots, I had aloe because it was so much in the top. I had it trying to grow up the bottom. I actually had 2 of my buckets. You know how the buckets come down and they have the what would you call them, drain holes in the side? I had aloe plants growing out of those. So don't water it. They need if the soil is dry, it just doesn't even matter. They don't need a lot of water. Just leave them alone.
Remember, aloe is part of the cactus family.
Just leave them alone.
So it really doesn't need a lot of water.
You can get by with very, very, very little water. I mean, like a fourth of a cup a month. I mean, very, very little water. So when I say I literally abandoned mine, like I literally abandoned it.
We don't raise succulents, so I don't know. We've heard about them, but a lot of succulents are part of the cactus family as well. So they probably won't need a lot of water. But again, we're not succulent experts. Are you a succulent expert? I'm not even.
I wouldn't even call myself an aloe expert. I would just say
we ain't nothing.
Put it in the corner, leave it alone, and it should do fine. Because that's the way. One aloe plant we had was trying to crawl out of the pot. Yes, look, I finally broke down. I went out to the greenhouse, I guess a few weeks ago, and I was like, I've got to give them some more space.
She ate too much of her own salsa. Take a breather. Take a breather.
I'm gonna have to get some water. Anyway, that's exactly what mine were doing. I was like, they have got to have some more space. And yeah, they were coming out of the drain holes out of the bottom, and I was like, this is crazy. So I finally broke down and
Sharon Brasher,
divided them.
We really don't have a lot of extra milk. With us being a family of 7,
on a typical day, we drink a gallon a day.
We drink a gallon, and then Misty, we make 3 full meals a day. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. I know people talk about that, but Misty literally, we just cook. I mean, there's not really many times that we buy food or just get by. I mean, it's very few and far in between. So when we cook, because we cook usually meals of some sort, they're going to need some kind of milk in them. So if we're making a bread, or Misty's making a biscuit, or Misty's making, whatever we're making, a lot of it requires milk. So
yeah, I found a King Arthur, the best recipe I've ever found for bread, and I have made bread on and off for like 10 years now. King Arthur's. Did I say his name right? Arthur.
Our girls struggle with ours.
That recipe is the best. Now I do substitute.
I think it's on the flour.
It is.
Yeah, the non-GMO flour.
The salt, we use pink Himalayan salt for those of you who are, still learning. Of course, sugar, I use honey instead. And then we use the flour out of the pack, and then we use our butter, our milk, and I put it in a bread machine. And it is the closest thing to store-bought bread that I have been able to do and find. It cuts great. The issues we've had in the past is slicing the bread. So you either have to cut it thick enough where it won't crumble, and then you feel like you're eating a sandwich this thick, or you cut it too thin and it crumbles and falls to pieces. So best recipe that I have found. It makes like a 1.5 pound loaf, and it's perfect.
And it's a slice, like Missy says, a slice of bread. We can easily make a crusty bread or something if we just want to, eat bread with butter on it. But our problem was finding bread that we can cut. Yeah, sandwich bread. So
hey, Miss Kathy.
It really does well. Hey, Miss Kathy. Now let's see. There's one more thing. Oh, one more thing about the extra milk. I'll tell you why we actually want more milk. So, two things that's going to be coming up. We actually started 3 or 4 days ago taking Josie away.
I think 3 nights ago.
We never have separated Josie just because she's growing great. We're getting about a gallon 0.4. We were getting a lot more, but the calf is drinking more. So what we did was we started pulling Josie off at night, or actually just moving Allie back into the stanchion paddock. So we've been split them at night. They're close to a gate where they literally can sit beside each other, but she can't nurse at night like she was doing because again we were fighting over the milk. Hey, Pie Knot. So what we were doing, and hey, 2.5 acres. What we do now is we don't have to fight over the milk. So when I milk at 4:15, I try to milk as early as I was milking, so that way I can milk her. And like this morning, we almost got a full. Did you see that this morning? Mm-hmm. We almost got a full 3 gallons this morning. But
I got the butter, boy.
But it doesn't take away from what Allie's getting too. I mean, excuse me, Josie's getting. So I'm able to get more at the same time. She's producing enough for Josie. Josie actually has gotten big. Josie's going to be a big calf.
She really is.
Which has surprised me from a low line and a miniature, which she better be small. But anyways.
Well, and Larry, I was going to answer your question. I have not made a bread video, but if y'all want me to, I will. I have a loaf of bread that I actually sliced up today, and the kids are standing there like slobbering dogs begging for the bread. So for us, it was absolutely perfect because it's what I've been looking for years. It slices well, it tastes good, so there's no give in the taste, and it feels like store-bought bread. And I have had the hardest time over the years trying to get that. Now it is not sourdough. I do use yeast, but I use the Red Star brand,
which is a non-GMO organic.
Right, it's non-GMO, and the reason I use the yeast, Red Star yeast, is because there's no chemicals on it. There's no preservatives. If you look at some of the other brands, you'll see yeast and such and such and such
monocarbonate
and such. Like it's other stuff in there I can't even pronounce. So I don't want that. I want basic, simple, clean, and good. And I finally found that. I see a lot of people asking for the bread video. So we have several that are already edited, ready to be published. Right. So I will, next time I make bread, I will make a video on that. So I would think next week. It should be out next week.
And see, like Misty's saying, we can make sourdough bread and have made it, and that's our problem. If we're gonna eat just bread, like just slicing it, putting butter on it, or eating it with the meal, that's the way to go. I mean, it's a great bread because it's a dense bread, and we love it. But our problem was we couldn't find that loaf. We could not get the loaf bread to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a turkey sandwich. So that's what Misty's talking about, and that's what's been good. Is the thump, and you've got a hardness, and it's made just like you would think bread should be made.
Yes,
so it actually sounds really well. That's why we use the bread maker, though. It's not because it takes a step out or anything like that. It just allows it to be like a perfect square to cut it to make a perfect sandwich
so
bread.
when you're looking at the little aluminum pans that go this way, when you cut them up,
it's like one big brick.
They only are like this tall. So you're eating like a mini sandwich, but when I make it in the bread machine, it allows it to rise up. So then when I slice it, it's like a full store-bought sandwich size.
It's a monster loaf.
And the texture is amazing. Y'all know I'm not a measurer, but I'm gonna do my best to show y'all exactly how I do it. And I have been, y'all, this has been like a 10-year deal for me. I've told Colby.
She got like mad at me. She's like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Because I would make it and then like it would crumble, or I would make it with sourdough and the kids would be like, oh, this is terrible. They're not crazy about sourdough.
And organic bread is not cheap. So we were always trying to find a way to make bread that doesn't have chemicals and it doesn't have white sugar in it. But we just never could do it. I mean, we could make the rolls or make like ciabatta buns, but not slicing bread. Right. And that's what's been really awesome this time.
And like I said, I mean, it does call for flour. I do use the
we either use either organic, raw organic, unrefined,
non-bleached,
or the King Arthur is a non-GMO. So both of those are very good flours that we use. We're not
my kids just don't like sourdough.
Yeah.
Either. They're not crazy about it at all.
They do if it's got cinnamon sugar on it, but not just regular bread.
Not just regular bread. So I tried to really dump the honey in there, but my sourdough was so sour, it was hard for us to even eat, even with a lot of honey.
TNS, did y'all see, you said the comment seems like it never goes bad. Did you see the story of the guy who had bought he actually went back and did his records. It's been in the news. He had a McDonald's burger, bought the burger. It had the wrapper on it from a certain year and the date on it. He sold a car. The jacket was in it. Then the jacket went to Goodwill. Found the jacket later on, and this burger was in the pocket. Other than the meat smelling a little cardboardy, he said that the meat and the patty, and the buns looked like nothing was ever wrong. There was no mold in it.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy. You don't think that's bad for your health when 20 years later, 20 years, it's a real story. It's not a fake story. It's amazing. He said, and of course, nobody would dare eat it, but I'm saying, he said, other than the smell of a little cardboard smelling like a piece of wood, he said there was no mold on the whole thing.
That's great.
Other than the pickles were missing.
And I see some of y'all asking about the bread machine.
Nasty.
So I had somebody give me this bread machine. FYI, you could do a in search of a bread machine on social media and find maybe somebody in your local community. Now it's old. We've had it for 10 years or more.
A long time.
I started making bread in it a long time ago, but I could not get my texture right. I could not get I used several different recipes and could not figure it out. So then I started going to the aluminum loaf pans. Y'all, this is what's worked for us. It's been great. I don't think I found one at a rummage sale for $2. See, there you go. I don't think they're expensive, even new. I don't think maybe toaster.
It's kind of like aerobics in January. Everybody wants to make their own bread and they buy it and they're like, forget that, sell it.
Yeah, so you could probably find one at a garage sale, maybe a local Goodwill, thrift, handy down, secondhand. That's what I was looking for, secondhand store. Because I have found at my dehydrator, I found at a garage sale for $1, and I still use it.
Someone said they like this beard. I told Misty I almost shaved it today and just grew a mustache.
He said he was going to call it Manuary. I was like, no, you're not.
It was so funny is we're from the 80s and 90s. So, mullets and tight rolled jeans and mustaches, which were the grossest thing in the world. They're all starting to make a comeback. And I think it's one of those things that they're making a comeback just because it's funny. So I have some buddies that shaved all their beards and they've got this nasty, gross mustache. For all you have mustaches, I do not. I'm not trying to hate on you, but almost shaved all this today just for that.
2.5 acres said my friend did that and his is going 11 years old and it looks the same. That is disgusting.
Did you see Green Jew said if you eat it, it might make you immortal?
I saw that. Organic Raw Roots Farm said her name is Terry. So Terry says their chicken nuggets are the same way. I mean, I get it.
Disgusting.
And like probably within the past year, we stopped eating out. I mean, if it was like dire need on the road, nothing else is open, it's 10 o'clock at night, everything's closed, and we have nothing to eat. Maybe once or twice last year out of the whole year.
Hey, two family.
That's just how like.
We just don't eat fast food. I mean, we don't really eat out, period. But man, thinking about eating now what we used to eat when we were in high school, and like when we were in high school, we were high school sweethearts. So we were broke for one thing, but we always went to Wendy's because it was the cheapest thing to eat. And like, I can't imagine eating that stuff now all the time.
Nimsy's garden.
Oh goodness.
My wife said to shave mine. See, I like a full beard. I like it. I would prefer him probably not to have a mustache, but
Doc Creed, Chick-fil-A, I'll tell you this. When we go out of town, we have a cooler that we take with us. If we can't eat, we look for two places. And the reason we look for these two places is because they're known to have 100% chicken. It's Chick-fil-A and Zaxby's. We really don't eat out, but if we had to stop somewhere, we're going to find a town that has one of those just because they're considered a no antibiotic, full-fledged 100% chicken. So we'll see. You don't know if you can believe that, but that's usually what we do, and we'll get a salad with it and let the kids just eat those. So if we have to stop, but to be honest with you, on this last trip, we ran out of something and we stopped at a Whole Foods just to pick up a thing of turkey meat and something else, and I think they didn't even have some of the stuff that we were looking for. So it is what it is, you know. Our kids think we're crazy. Well, our kids used to think we're crazy. Now I think they're just normal with it, you know.
Well, I know that Jennifer was running 103 fever the other day, so Grammy Karen, I hope that she gets to be feeling better. I know that Jack and Tangy had the flu too. I saw comments about the flu and how it was going around so bad. The flu was really, really bad here several weeks ago.
Kathy, you're probably right. That's why we're trying to clean it up now with a bunch of kombucha. Maybe we can wash all that fast food out from the teen years. So.
Hey, I tasted our kombucha today, and I told Colby, I was like, I used 3 bags of green tea and 3 bags of black tea, and it is so good.
We've enjoyed the green tea probably more than the black tea.
I really like the green tea, but I was telling him I could drink it like it is right now with no flavoring in it. It's so good because it's still got a little bit of that sweetness to it, and it's not real tangy. So to me, it's like it doesn't even need any flavoring. Like it's so good just like it is. But I probably won't pour all that up until tomorrow because I'm so weird.
Good night, Josh.
I get all my bottles and I sterilize all my bottles and drop them down in boiling water for several minutes. So all that's a little bit of a process, but my kids love it. So I just do it and I enjoy it, but it's a process that I didn't want to do it today. So I was like, it'll be fine till tomorrow.
We've been making elderberry syrup.
Yeah, that's what I was doing instead, was making elderberry syrup.
Hey, what's cool though is we have Elsa. If y'all remember our first milk cow that y'all saw,
I'll be right back.
We are close to baby watch on her. She's starting to back up a little bit, so we're looking to have our second milk cow back in the milk. So we're going to see what she has. She has been bred by the same Jersey bull that we have here. She is very, very close. She's supposed to calf kind of at the end of this month, the 1st of February, but however, she's starting to bag up a little bit quicker than what she is used to. So we're going to see how that goes because, that'd be great to have another milk cow. I know somebody said earlier about how much milk can y'all drink. We can go through some milk, and we use it for yogurt. We use it for sour cream. We use it for all these good things. So you got our bread, our bread brick.
I cut it up today.
Oh, did you cut?
Yeah, it's already cut.
See, look how cool this is. You know, it's got the darkness, but look at this. Well, I mean, it's paper thin, but it's whole. I mean, there's not
But does
crumbly.
that not look like just like it come from the store?
It's
I mean,
pretty
to
awesome.
me, it looks. And see, in the past, I have not been able to get my slices this thin. I've had to cut them super thick in order for it not to crumble. So
Hey, VW.
This, to me, it's perfect. Like, it's soft. It stays together. It's good. I was telling y'all, my kids, when I was cutting this up, my kids already ate 2 or 3 pieces because they were standing there like
usually in
drooling
a day
for
or two.
bread.
A day or two because our kids like it so much.
I have to make it pretty easy. I have to make it pretty often.
Hey,
but I will say this, with the bread machine, it's so easy because I dump my ingredients in, set it on what I want to set it on, and go off. It kneads it for me and it cooks it for me. So you can't beat that. I mean, and it was free, so you can't beat that. And like I said, y'all, if y'all want to see a bread recipe, I mean a bread video, I will definitely do it. It has been perfect. I mean, y'all, 10 years of searching, and I finally found what I'm looking for. But bread machines seriously can be found for very, very reasonable. You just have to look for it.
Life at a Mama's Bear, or Life as Mama Bear, sorry. We use electric knife and just slice it. That's why usually
electric knife.
If you look at the last 2 pieces, as pretty as those other ones are, those last 2 pieces are usually going to be a little unstraight.
I'm not a good bread cutter, okay? I will admit to that. I'm not the best, straightest cutter, but
Stacy, bread flour is enriched, so we do not use bread flour for our personal bread.
And it's
bleached. We use a unrefined, all-purpose, unbleached, non-GMO organic flour that you can buy at Walmart for usually $3 or $4 a bag. So it's not crazy expensive.
I really like the King Arthur brand, and no, it won't slice it for you. The bread machine won't slice it for you. But I do use an electric knife, which you will find the does the best, because if you try to cut it with a regular knife, it just doesn't do as well. So I just whip that thing out with an electric knife, and no, they're not beautiful and all even.
They really are, except for the last 2 pieces. That ends up being my pieces usually.
But they do the job. It does the job. Okay, it feeds everybody sandwiches.
Feeds it all.
And Jennings gets peanut butter bread for his mid-morning and mid-afternoon snack because he's like a bottomless pit. So I just make it, and it does its job, and it's exactly what I'm looking for. So
I truly think when JJ is in every video that we do, he's usually got peanut butter on him. So that's why, because he loves peanut butter and loves it on the bread. So
yes. And y'all, I've seen several people
Jennifer,
ask for a video. So yes, I will absolutely do a video. Like I said, it's so easy to make, and it was exactly what we were looking for. And I love the idea of the bread machine, because it not only can I just dump everything in, but it kneads it for you. And then I have this, it rises in the perfect shape, and then it cooks it for you exactly like I do a medium. I'll teach y'all all this. I don't do it on a light, and I don't do it on a hard. I do it on a medium.
You go get you some water.
I need some water.
VW, how is your cow? I've been watching your video. Did you ever? You've nursed that thing pretty well, so you've impressed me with really trying to keep that cow doing well. So let me know how that cow is doing. Jennifer Apiary, that name Apiary, is that dealing with the bees, or is that just your last name? Just a question there. Yes, King Arthur is great, Kathy. We use it. We support them. They're a local business that I think that if you're going to have flour, you might as well use a company that you support. I think King Arthur seems like they got
and going back to, I had mentioned earlier to y'all about some of the yeast.
Me coughing now.
About some of the yeast. It's not sourdough yeast. And I know there's been this big debate between, well, sourdough yeast is a lot easier to digest and process in your body. It's a lot easier on your body than store-bought yeast. That may be true, but I would rather have Red Star yeast with no chemicals in it, making my bread rise, than going to the store and buying bread with a million things in it that I can't say. Even if you find the bread that's whole wheat, no high fructose corn syrup, no preservatives, it still has a ton of junk in it that you can't read, you can't pronounce, you can't say. So if my options are sourdough that my kids don't really like and I can't get it to be good sandwich bread, homemade bread with Red Star yeast and the only ingredient is yeast and store-bought bread, I'll go with the Red Star yeast. So
Jennifer, apiary, we are bee farmers. We actually we have 2 apiaries and we do have our local honey. We actually are running out of our 23 gallons as of probably tomorrow. So we will have our mentor who owns about 60 hives. We're actually going to do a little bartering with him and pick up some honey from him until we pull for spring. We did not pull fall this year, so we have about 14 beehives. Let's see. Peppy, okay, well, good. I noticed that she has not. Did she ever, BW? Did she pass her full afterbirth as a cow? I didn't know if she ever passed that or not. Like I said, I think that you are doing an awesome thing trying to care for that cow. But what is cool is we're just gonna have the second cow, and I hope she has it. This will be her second calf, and we'll be milking 2 cows every morning. With double 2 cows,
milk, double the butter.
If we're doubling the milk and there's 2 cows, should there be 2 milkers outside?
I don't think so.
At 4:30?
I don't think so.
I think so. I think she should come out and milk every morning with me at 4:30. Don't you?
I really like the milk and I really like all the stuff. And I guess if I absolutely had to do it, I would.
VW,
but
we went through.
Really wanted to milk, so I'm gonna let that be your baby.
I think I'm just gonna get her out there for the heck of it. VW, we went through 23 gallons since March. No, April. But
I have a huge elderberry syrup business here, and I use a cup of honey per quart of elderberry syrup, and I probably sold
cup per quart. No, wouldn't it be a cup per? It's a cup per. It's 2 cups per mix, right? And that makes 2 quarts. I thought it made 4 quarts.
It's a cup per quart.
Okay. Yeah. So we cook.
I could use anywhere from a half cup to a cup, but most people like it on the sweeter side because elderberry can be a little bitter taste. So I have a huge elderberry syrup business here, and it does really well. So I have to use a lot of honey for that.
VW, you're supposed to help me here and let her come out and milk with me. I think that'd be a wise decision.
I think you can handle it. You're big boy.
We actually are starting Friday. We're going to bring Elsa back over, do a little bit more stanchion training. She was a great milk cow before, but we want to make sure she becomes a great milk cow again.
Yeah, she needs to get back in her routine.
We're going to put her back in a routine, going right behind Allie in the stanchion. So we'll have a video on that coming up as well. She, again, I can't say enough. She actually
she is
a great milk cow.
A sweet girl.
She is my sweet girl.
She likes for you to rub on her and rub on her head. And I mean, she is just like a big teddy bear. Now, Allie, she don't want you to mess with her. She has calmed down a lot since she had her baby, which is what I was hoping for. Because there was a period of time when she was in that not bred stage yet. And remember when I would pull the Ranger over in the field, she would try to get the Ranger with her horns. That's how crazy she was. And I would have to take a stick out there with me. I wouldn't let the kids come in, or if I did, I would not let them get off the Ranger just because I wouldn't turn my back on her.
Now, we don't like horned cows, but she was not naturally pawed, and we got her a little older. Well, she was not older, but she was a little too old that we thought it was not good to paw her at that age. Now, being that she has a calf, we're watching her calf. If it looks like they need to be burned off or singed off or pulled,
just because they can be dangerous. And Allie
not meaning to. Allie doesn't mean to sling her head now.
Now she has simmered down. I will say, definitely. being a very aggressive cow, she was probably a 7 or 8. I mean, she was on up there, but now she's probably a 2.
Thanks, our Kevin in the Woods.
She's still gonna be the boss.
But she's so much mellowed out.
But she is so much. And I was hoping that she was gonna do that. And she did. But Elsa has always been very gentle, very subtle. They're just nature totally different.
So. Miss Kathy, we sell quart size elderberry syrup in the quantity of a quart around here. I'm gonna probably blow your mind because I probably wouldn't pay for this if I was the one buying it. But we sell that. It's basically everything in it is either, of course, I never say my honey is organic. My honey is natural, it's unfiltered, because again, your bees are going to feed off 2 to 5 miles, and I don't own 2 to 5 miles. So we use a natural honey, of course, our unfiltered honey, but everything else that goes in it is organic or non-GMO.
What was she asking?
What's the quantity we sell in elderberry? So our elderberry syrup is $35 a quart, and we can't keep it. If we wanted, I mean, now again, we're not going up, but I'm just saying if we could put it out right now that we have 6 extra quarts right now, and they would be sold probably in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very popular around here. And I'm gonna tell you what's cool is the weird folks like us, there's starting to be people that look, and I know every one of y'all have been in that same boat. We're going to be able to speak at a greenhouse thing coming up soon. So what's cool is that we're going to be able to tell what we do, not only just on video, but at this place that fertilize every flower in their greenhouse, and with people who are master gardeners.
Did you tell them about our upcoming? Are you talking about Buzz and Blue?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was talking. Did you listen?
I was reading. Little Feet Farm Homestead said if Sally gets crazy with the horn, she'll be in the freezer. So I was reading. I was laughing.
So, anyways, we have the speaking engagement that we get to speak to just local folks, and again, we're speaking to people who are master gardeners and who are people who deal with flowers a lot. So they're used to using fertilizers and things like this, and also they ask us to come and talk about homesteading. So I think it's a cool thing. So it's amazing how more people are turning towards that. I had a lady called Misty a while ago about fresh butter and wanting to learn more about it. There's a lady that came and just walked around our farm the other day. So it's cool how people are starting to embrace that
on the farm tour.
And it's like I told somebody the other day. You may not embrace milking at 4 o'clock in the morning and 7 days a week. I understand that, but embracing maybe not eating a Big Mac when you can cook a wholesome meal at your house. So if there's different things you can do to make a little bit better, if you say, okay, we're not going to drink sweet tea for every meal, we're going to drink a honey tea for at least 1 meal a day and the rest of water. So I think it's cool how more people, even in our area in small town Mississippi, that grew up around,
getting out there
triple 13 and disking all the garden up and putting triple 13 out.
And that's what we're doing different. Cool. Is letting our chickens and our pigs be our tillers, where our corn and stuff is going to go in different areas in our garden. So we've learned those things, and we're using them here, and that's not what a lot of people do here. So I think it's awesome that we're going to be able to go to this speaking engagement and be able to share what we do with our homestead and how it's worked for us. So we're super excited about that.
VW Family Farm, we do use a milker now. I have hand milked. Actually, when we first started Allie, I hand milked her the first 2 days. We started with the milker because we had a lady that was. We started the milker. It didn't work. We did some things to it.
We had a lot of issues, but it took us figuring out what the issue was before we could fix it.
But really, the whole purpose, I love hand milking, but with 2 cows, it was almost impossible. Also, we had a lady who was a goat milker that was going to help us so we could go. We missed the shindig. If y'all remember, we missed the shindig simply because we couldn't find a milker. But we missed Baker Creek because we had one back out on it. So when we were able to go to, where did we go? Michigan. Yeah. When we went to the Hootenanny and visit the Pratts,
we had the milk machine.
And even that, we live in a town or a county that's about 30,000 strong and some communities around here. And you'd be surprised. Everybody's like, I'm not coming to milk a cow. I mean, it had nothing to do with the earliness. it's intimidating to them.
Right.
So we had to buy the milker and get it working. So
there's a lot of people that just can't. I'm one of them. I'm not a good hand milker. Oh, Colby learned how to be, but I'm not a good hen milker. Now, if he got sick or had to go to the hospital or whatever, I could go do it if I needed to, using the machine. But yeah, so what are the little caps called at the end?
It's red cap. They're plugs basically for your milkers.
So it was a suction issue, and we knew that, but we couldn't figure out how to fix it. So it took us a long time working with it, and we finally figured out that those little caps have to go on the claw.
Yeah, our claw. We use a 4-claw. At first, we were going to do actually like y'all, Ben and Andrea, and do a 2 milking, basically a 2 milking claw. But we were trying to still hold to a 4 milker because that's what Elsa was used to when she got here. So we learned a plug system with this claw that we have. It's worked great, and of course has changed our life. It's made it so much easier.
So using hey Justin and Kylie, so using the plugs on the top builds that suction up, and then when you take one off at a time and put it on, it stabilizes that suction so it doesn't drop, because when you lose the suction, the whole thing falls off, and then now you've wasted your morning, all that milk and everything else. So it was just a learning curve for us to figure out where the suction was being lost and how to keep it up, because we couldn't just apply one at a time.
So yes, we love using our milker now. It works out great. Actually, the cleaning process and just getting her in the stanchion takes us longer than the milk, the 2.5 gallons that we're getting.
Miss Kathy from North Star Prep Center, I have lost count. A lot. And
oh my gosh, yeah. 2020, we're journaling a whole lot more on exactly what we sell and what we have, because actually we picked tons of elderberry, but that was nowhere near enough. So we've had to buy dried
and
organic
I saw
elderberry.
Somebody comment on the price. So I want to address that real quick, because $35 for a quart does sound like a lot.
I mean, it is, but
you have to factor in, I'm buying quart jars. Okay. I'm buying elderberry, the clove, the ginger root, my thyme, and we're using what honey we could have sold. I'm using for the elderberry syrup. So it's a lot of cost. And if y'all have ever priced out elderberries, they're not cheap. I mean,
say $30 a pound.
Between $20 and $30 a pound, depending on where you get them from, and
just Dutch off grid
shipping charges in that. So by the time you average your jars and lids, the ingredients, the cost of the ingredients, plus your honey, and my time to do it all, we make decent money off of it. I mean, we do make good money off of it.
We can't keep it here though.
But
$35 is a good deal for what people are getting.
Yeah, and if you go to the store and buy the little bottles,
$10 for this little tiny bottle.
Yeah, 10 at the cheapest. If you go to like Whole Foods or places like that, some places runs it like $15 for a little. I'm talking like one of those little 20 or 30 ml bottles. So if you're comparing what I'm making to store bought, it is way cheaper. You're just getting a quart of it, which is a monster load. Plus, you're getting organic, fresh, no preservatives. So even what you get from the store.
Yes, Miss Kathy, that's correct. That is correct.
Plus, what you're getting from the store is going to have some preservatives in it, because it just has to be. It has to have a shelf life. So you're getting a product from me that has no chemicals, no preservatives. It's our honey. So a lot of locals around here want that local honey because it's better for you and your allergies and your body. So it's worth the price for a lot of people around.
Jennifer, we do have a video on that.
I do, and it's very easy to do. I buy all of my things in bulk, so that does help in the long run on shipping charges. Mountain Rose Herbs is a place that I really like. their shipping is very, very expensive. Like for example, today I priced out ginger root, and it was 11 and some change to ship a pound. So I ended up buying it from somewhere else, but I do like their products. But I shop this stuff out, y'all. I go to Bulk Apothecary is another one. So I use a lot of trusted companies that I know and that I'm familiar with. And whoever can give it to me for the cheapest, for the best shipping charge, is who I go with. So, and yes, the elderberry syrup video is up. It's step by step. It really is easy to do. So
you're right. It's hard to find a farm sitter, Little Feet Farm Homestead. It is. It's not as hard to find somebody to feed chickens. It's hard to find somebody who is
that's gonna get up before the sun comes up.
Yeah, who's gonna deal with a cow, a milk cow, who's gonna deal with maybe hogs or maybe beef birds, something that's out of the norm.
Right.
They may even water my greenhouse, but when you throw in the fact that you got to milk a cow,
thank you, TNS.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah, Jennifer, we between people that wanted to buy honey and the people that wanted to buy the elderberry syrup, like I said, I was gonna limit my supply. I was going to limit my sales this year so that I could hold on to our honey until spring. I have so many people that want it. I told Colby the other day, by the time I got into our 5-gallon bucket again, I was like, I'm almost out. So,
and that was really us still limiting it.
I mean, that was really trying to be very.
I really don't need to grow our hives. We're at 14 hives, and I really do think we're probably going to lose one or two of those from this winter. Just there's one or two that's not looking as active as they probably should. But I really may try to grow our hives again, split some more, because really we're in need and demand of more bees and more honey. So
well, more bees just for the culture and climate anyway. I mean, the bee population period. So anyway,
fresh honey can go. It moves here too. I agree with both comments up. So
and Vito Family Farm said their honey.
But what's even cooler is
you mentioned. I don't think you've mentioned the video Rotten, where the honey series. Yeah. So that will make people that watch that, if you are not familiar with that, to watch that, it will make you say, okay, I don't want store-bought honey ever again. Let me find my local beekeepers and get honey from them, because it will kind of make you go, ooh.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're the same way, actually.
They've seen it on Netflix, yes.
Yeah, Jennifer. BW, we were the same way. At first, we were not wanting to really get any bigger than about 8 to 10. But I had a very strong hive last year that I actually had to split 3 times. And then I had another local beekeeper that I've kind of tried to mentor a little bit. He wants honey but knows nothing about bees. So I had to go over there and help him. And of course I don't want to charge him, because the more bees we make and the better education we get on these things, that's priceless to me. It benefits our world and benefits us as a whole. But he said, look, his bees were to a point where they were either going to leave him or I had to split them. So I split them. I said, hey, just we'll put them at my apiary, let them, kind of calm down and make sure they don't want to go back to the other set of bees, and then we'll just take them out to your house. Well, they stayed here, and there's two hives we had to split. And it was one of those things where he said, look, man, I can't hardly keep up with the bees I got. Just keep them. So that's 2 more hives that we picked up.
But in return, though, we did help him harvest his honey. He ended up with a 5-gallon bucket.
Definitely, he did.
So he
I mean, it was worth it for us, but at the same time, it was worth it for him, because to be honest with you, he could care less to grow any other bees. That 5-gallon worth of honey, like you said, he may not use that.
bee tools either. So
yeah,
for us to be able to go out there and take the wax off and spin the honey out and all that for him.
And we got all the wax. Any wax that we had, we were able to keep for ourselves too. So
all right, because I use that in a lot of products that I make, like our homemade chapstick. I use it in diaper rash cream, some sunscreen, all kinds of stuff that I make. So that wax is very important.
VW, we have not sold nukes. The mentor that sold us our nukes We try not to overstep him because he has about 50 hives and he splits and queen rears. Now, if I have somebody that's close to me, I'll sell a nuke too, just because I want to get them started on beekeeping, because I think it's a thing. It's kind of like dairy farming. The average beekeeper is like 60. So if we can get more younger folks,
thank you, Prairie Girl and Cowboy,
doing beekeeping and understanding bees, I think that it will make us to have a better growth of all the things we're trying to grow, from the clover in the field to the buckwheat to our gardens to our blueberries. So if I have somebody that wants a nuke and I have several, I'd be glad to sell one of those. I try not to publicize that because, again, to be honest with you, he's usually inundated with bees. So we try to help him try to sell his too.
And I was also fixing to tell y'all, we have probably a big weekend coming up this weekend.
It's butcher weekend if it doesn't flood. Actually, it's supposed to flood.
But that's what I was going to say. We're supposed to have severe weather moving into our area this weekend, so we might not actually be able to. But if the weather will cooperate, I'm not extremely thrilled.
Deanna, we're actually we do most of our stuff on Facebook and through the marketplaces. We're actually building a website now for the soaps and things like that we sell via online and to mail those out. So we're working on that as we speak, Deanna. So thank you for that. We are running over an hour, so the last thing I want to do is run in somebody else's time. Like Misty said, our goal is to kind of talk about our meat birds too. Our meat birds are growing; they're doing great. Our Cornish cross, we only lost probably 4 to 5%, so we are very pleased with where they're at. We're going to be butchering them, also probably butchering.
I want them to be bigger.
We're probably going to be butchering about 3 maybe roosters with them. We're inundated with roosters too because we incubate, so we've got a lot of extra roosters that we don't need. So they will be going to make chicken and dumplings.
I'm not thrilled.
She's gonna be like the chicken beast.
I'm not chicken excited beast. About it.
No, but I don't want to cut anybody else's time. So thank you all for being here. I'll always love getting on our lives.
Yes, and thank you to all of our moderators too.
Absolutely.
It means a lot to us that you guys come on, and I don't think we're cool enough for trolls, but it still means a lot to us that you guys come on and you watch us and that you put all that information out there for us. I will be having a bread video coming out soon.
When we grow up, I want to be like Mimsy and Kathy because they're like the coolest moderators in the world.
I told them the other day when we were watching somebody's together, and I said, y'all are like, on Freedom Homestead. I was like, y'all are the bomb.
I'm like, we're a moderator, and like, I think we're going to take ourselves off there because we're no good at it. So like, if a troll's there, they're like, we'll hit the max because they know nothing. So, so thank y'all so very much for watching. Again, catch Single Dad if Chris is on tonight. Mimsy, you can hit that if he is. But if Chris is on, go tag on to him. Tell him we sent you.
And thank all of you guys. We really, really enjoy talking
to you. Absolutely. Have a great night. God bless you, and
happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.